After rain stopped play last night, it was at it again today with umbrellas out in force at Roland-Garros. Now, the spectators watched as the covers came on, they were taken off, they came on again before the rain, and luckily the frustration was brushed away. The covers came back, the sun came through, and it was day 3 at Roland-Garros. Bienvenue and welcome to day 3 of the second Grand Slam of the year. You are watching live at RG. We've got an awful lot to get through the next 30 minutes, and here for you is a little taster of what's in store. We start with the King of Clay, who is up and running as the quest for title number 11 begins. Three-time Roland-Garros champion Serena Williams marks her return to Grand Slam tennis with a win. And Sasha Zverev talks Roland-Garros and life away from the courts. We'd love to have you involved with the show. Simply use the hashtag RG18 on Twitter to keep up to date with results. It's Rolandgarros.com. We have a Twitter account, an Instagram account, and you can tell your friends that they can follow this show via the official Facebook and YouTube accounts of Roland-Garros. Very happy to say that a little bit later, former world number 6 Chandra Rubin will be with us in the studio, but also very delighted that back with me, Camille Pin and Nick McCarville. And Camille, I think you're going to be warm enough this evening. You're dressed up for the weather that was expected to come, but it's wrong again, and now we've got sunshine.
It's not that dark the other day.
No, it's lovely.
I just chose my outfit for that, and then, I don't know, the weather is crazy here, Nick.
I think it's better to be safe than sorry, though, because it can change quickly. But at the moment, Nick, it's looking like we will have play until the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, I think we were worried last night with the rain, this afternoon with the rain. We were all getting ready of, okay, what storylines do we talk about with the rain? But we've got sunshine into the late evening, and we're lucky to have the forecast we have, because it was looking rather dark a couple days ago.
It certainly was, and we have a first round to complete. So plenty of tennis taking place around the grounds. So we're going to make our first stop with our reporter, Eli Weinstein. Eli, to find out where you are this evening. Where are you?
I didn't think you'd find me. I tried to find the best hiding spot in the stadium. I am in the photographer's pit on court Philippe Chatrier. I can't speak louder than this because I'm literally on court. Jérémy Chardy is standing right in front of me here and about to serve to Thomas Berdych. I am in the most amazing place in the stadium. You can see from here, you can tell how powerful these tennis balls are, the spins, everything that happens when the ball hits the court. I mean, it's amazing. It's a whole different perspective from here. And you have, here's where the photographers come during the match. They'll do a few shots. It's when you see the pictures in the newspapers of like shots from court level, that's where they're at. It's amazing. The only thing that's a bit touch and go here is that sometimes the balls come flying at you at 180, 200 kilometers per hour, and it's a bit touch and go. So I got to keep my eyes open. So just please let me focus and come back to me later, guys.
I've got to say, that is my favourite position for you so far, Eli. I'm a little bit worried, but that is an incredible view. The positions we can get here at Live on RG, we're your access all areas, we're your backstage pass to life at Roland-Garros. So plenty of action still taking place, but plenty of action has been completed. So this is the perfect time at the top of the show just to run you through a few of the players who are safely through to round 2. And there is no better place to start than with the 10-time champion, looking to be the 11-time champion, Rafa Nadal, who moved to 80-2, his win-loss record, with a straight sets win over Simone Bolelli. Would you believe he played a tiebreak for the first time here since 2013? He's now won his last 29 sets at Roland-Garros, and he won it on a third match point after saving 4 set points. Quest for title number 11's underway.
Well, and it took 2 days to win round 1, but Rafael Nadal, the 10-time champion, through today. And what about a 3-time champ, Serena Williams, ranked number 451. This was her first Grand Slam match since winning the Australian Open in 2017. You can see how happy she was, and it's her first clay match of any sort since finishing runner-up here in 2016. She moves to 66-1 in Grand Slam first rounds, and it's her 317th win at a major.
From a 3-time champion to a 2-time French Open champion, Maria Sharapova making her first appearance here since 2015. She came from love 3 down in the third against Richel Hugenkamp to win 6 straight games in what was, Camille, her 52nd main draw Grand Slam appearance.
Yeah, she's such a great player. She's such a star. I mean, she's capable of coming back, just improving her game when she's in danger. And that's why she was number 1 in the world.
No comeback today needed for Kyle Edmund. He drops just 10 games in beating Alex de Minaur in less than 2 hours. Broken just once, wins 85% of his first serve points. He's the #1 British player here, the number 16 seed, and he is into round 2.
He certainly is. So
Yeah,
a
Gigi's happy.
as a Brit through. Marin Cilic had a very straightforward afternoon at the office. He got the job done around the rain delay. Now he's looking to equal his best showing here, which was a quarter-final finish last year. And would you believe he is still in line to be just the 11th man in the Open era to reach the final at all 4 Grand Slams. Now there is still a long way to go, but he is up and running and he is into round 2.
Yeah, good performance today from Marin Cilic, the 2014 U.S. Open champ. Another U.S. Open champ, Svetlana Kuznetsova. She had Garbine Muguruza in this first-round match, but it was Muguruza who came through a tight first set, Camille, and then ran away with the second set. But Muguruza only 3-3 on clay this season.
Yeah, she hadn't played that good, but I think coming back to Paris, she feels much more confident. And she had a tough draw playing Kuznetsova first round, and I think she must be relieved about this victory today.
Yeah, she'll be very happy to get it done. Now it was, excuse me, a few firsts for Denis Shapovalov. The 19-year-old was seeded at Grand Slam for the very first time. He came through, got his first win here at Roland-Garros. It was a comfortable afternoon's work, and it's job done for the Canadian.
Yeah, really well done from Shapovalov, who trailed early in this match against John Millman, but 19 years old, 24th seed, and he's into round 2. What about for Caroline Garcia, the number 7 seed, moving through today? 58 minutes. She lost just 1 game. She flew into round 2, Camille.
Yeah, she overpowered Duan. She had some problems in the beginning of the match because of the pressure, maybe, but then she flew until the second round, and she was so powerful. Duan couldn't run that much, and she knew it, and she made a perfect match for this first round.
Yeah, absolutely impeccable win for Caroline Garcia.
It absolutely was, and we highlighted a few in the matches. Camille, here's just a few more, but it is one of those days because we didn't finish the schedule yesterday. Matches, if you had a ticket and you were here at Roland-Garros today, matches all over the place.
Yeah, all over, but I mean, Maria Sharapova today was just amazing. Samantha Stosur just won a good match against Wickmeyer, so this is good for the Australian girl. And, well, Kevin Anderson is still here.
Yeah, great
Obviously,
win for
John Isner.
Yep. Couple of the big servers, John Isner coming through in familiar territory, winning in tie breaks, 2 tie breaks over Noah Rubin. And Jack Sock still on court, actually looking like he could have a challenge on his hands against Jürgen Sott. So that's a tough match for Jack Sock.
I can tell you that another of the big servers has got himself back on track. There was sort of gasps when Nicolas Mahut took the first set very, very comfortably against Juan Martín Del Potro. Now, Del Potro is trying to right the ship at the moment, and he has returned the favour against the Frenchman. Camille, he is a player who sometimes can take a little while to get going.
Yeah, exactly. And also, Nicolas Mahut just started the match. It was amazing the way he started the match, and maybe it's going to be tougher for Nicolas to keep this rhythm. And we know Juan Martín Del Potro is always there, always playing tough matches.
Now, Camille, we have our feature. It is Camille's shot of the day. I don't know why I always want to break into some kind of song or something around this time.
You want me to sing? No.
Yes.
Sure, of course,
okay.
always.
Wow.
Tomorrow I'll find something to introduce my feature of the day.
It's over to you.
I don't have it so far, but Dirty Dancing, no.
Okay, what you have a, there we go.
There it is.
How about
your shot of the day.
Do you like
that? Thank you guys back there. No, I chose Sharapova because she was very impressive. I'm always really respectful because she never gives up. She never complains, and she was in danger. She came back. Look at this shot. She was so into her match. Even if she was down in the third set, she never complains. She hits the ball, and she goes further every time, and in the end, when she's in danger, as I said, she's there, and we expected that, and she won this match against Hogan Cup, and she was very, it was tough for her, and she had to run a lot, and in the end, she just used her power, focusing on her game, and she's in second round.
Well, Camille herself knows how tough Maria Sharapova is because she took her to 9-7 in the third set a few years ago at the Australian Open. She just doesn't give up. Sharapova plays love all 0-0 like every other point, like match point down. She never lets it go, and today, down 3-0 in the third, I thought she was out of the tournament.
Yeah, and that's why I said I was commentating this match. I said, okay, at 3-love, no, she never gives up, and she knows how to play better on those moments. So because I knew it, unfortunately, I was 2 points away in Australian Open. So, and I think she's doing all the time these kinds of matches, and that's why she was number one in the end.
Now we have something special. We have Camille's shot of the day. Today we have Nick's shot of the day. I don't know whether there's a jingle or some music, but
there doesn't need to be.
Nick, what is your shot of the day?
Well, our shot of the day is actually carrying over the story yesterday of Marco Trungelliti. I knew I was going to get it this time. Trungelliti getting through to round 2, but the star really today is one of our producers here at RGTV, Alex Juillard, was in L'Equipe interviewing the brother and Abuelita, Daphne. That's grammar right there.
Camille, can you explain to us why Alex is taking up such a position?
Actually, he's a great dancer. He loves Argentina, so tango, sexy guy.
So he was just kind of
something
he was
like
getting
that.
in the mood of the interview.
Sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
maybe, and
Some
he was
Argentinian
stable
dancing.
on his leg, on his stance.
Okay,
Maybe
he's stable
playing
on his legs.
forehand,
Yeah,
But making print
Open
today,
stance,
open stance forehand interview, making print today in
I
L'Equipe,
love it.
the Jouy.
Yeah, no, I think it's absolutely fabulous. So we're not always going to have a Nick shot. Well, maybe we'll have just
Let's
be
do
We're
it.
gonna
careful.
have a revenge about that.
Well, I
You
was
know
gonna say-
that, guys, huh?
Ooh,
Any-
I'm
anybody-
so nervous
Alex is
now.
gonna
I'm
be
so
angry.
nervous.
Anybody working on the team, be careful, because there might be revenge for that. Now, I'm very happy to say I touched on this at the start of the show, but we have a special guest with us. So please welcome onto set to sit alongside Camille and Nick, 3-time quarterfinalist here at the French Open and former world number 6, Chanda Rubin. Chanda, come in.
Wild applause.
Wild applause
from
for
the
Chanda.
gallery.
She makes her way through and
Welcome,
sits down.
Chanda.
Yay.
We've got a drink for you here. We've got a microphone. We welcome you to the sets. You've got it.
microphone too.
You don't know what
when
is
you
in
say
the mug.
drink, I need you to clarify.
Well, you can't tell.
This is a 7 p.m. drink. It's not maybe a 9 p.m. drink.
Okay.
Maybe
I
that's,
understand.
That's afterwards. Chanda, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. I mentioned 3-time quarter. What are your biggest, best memory? We did try and find 1995, the comeback against Jana Novotná.
comeback.
I mean,
Yes.
just for people thinking, what was that? Just put us in the picture of that match.
I mean, it's unbelievable when I think about it now, especially with the passing of Jana, which was so sad for the tennis world. But I feel fortunate to have been able to compete against such a great player and on one of the biggest stages to actually go through that. I learned so much in that match. You never think when you're down as far as I was down. I was
You were
down
love 5.
5-love, 40-love in the third. And
Crazy.
you don't think you're going to come back and win. I mean, I was packing my bags. I had a beautiful apartment on the river, and I was thinking I'm going to have to book my flight. And, oh, boo-hoo. And I said, let me just stay for another point. Let me just stay for
You wanted to
one more
enjoy.
point.
That's why you just came back.
It's just, you think very small at that point because the winning and losing, you have to throw it out of the window.
Just
You
playing.
I mean,
Just-
as a player, sometimes you get caught in the moment and you think, oh, I'm so close, and you start thinking about the wrong things, and
Yeah.
all of a sudden you get tight and your game falls apart. So in that moment, when I knew there was probably no chance of me winning, I said, I'm going to forget about that and just play and just stay for one more moment.
Yeah,
and
just enjoy the moment.
That's all. That's exactly
Yeah.
what I did.
It's
and
amazing what she says. If we could think about that when we are just winning, it would be such a.
It'd be so easy.
Yeah, in the end, like, come on.
So it's
You
true
have
when
no
people say
problems.
you've got to try not to think. I mean, it sounds easy, but it's very difficult when you're out there in a situation suddenly not to think of anything.
Absolutely. And if you are a halfway intelligent person, as most of us are, we think
We
we
try.
think we are anyway.
try
What you're
here.
going
We do
to
it.
think.
No promises.
So it's very difficult to all of a sudden say, I'm not going to think about any of the circumstances surrounding this match. I'm not going to think about what's going on or what I want most, which is to win. It's very hard to do that in those moments when you're under tremendous pressure, but that's what the best players are able to do more often.
And how have you adapted to life on the tennis court, to life behind the microphone?
It has been interesting. It's been fun. I mean, I've been with this guy a lot of times.
have a
Know
lot
this
of
guy.
fun.
You
Yes,
came
we
back.
have.
And I came back.
Somehow
But-
she came back.
It's been a lot of fun just, working with and interacting with so many different personalities, professionals who are so good at what they do. They're so knowledgeable. I've learned a lot, and that's been kind of the fun part because
Yeah.
it's just a different side watching tennis. as a commentator, as opposed to playing it, you have to think a little bit differently. So I've been able to learn a lot over the years. And, you know, if I were still playing, maybe I'd be a better player now. But
I'm pretty sure of it. Yeah.
I'm happy to be on this side now and, you know, really support the game and watch it continue to grow.
Well, this brings us perfectly to our discussion for today. And if you'd like to get involved with us, use the hashtag RG18. Even when the show is finished, the discussion continues. And today it's changes in tennis. That sounds a little bit loose, but changes are starting to happen. And Nick, I think before we kick things off, you've put together a few examples of the changes that are coming into the game.
Yeah, so if we look at changes here at Roland-Garros this year, it's all about the warm-up. First off, you get 1 minute to walk out on court after both players to their bench, 5 minutes strict warm-up, and then you've got 1 more minute before you start the match thereafter. You also have 25 seconds between points played. That is kept track by the chair umpire, and there was a shot clock used during qualifying. Also in juniors, servicelets will be played this year. So that's some of the changes we're seeing this year. And we actually saw Serena Williams today had a few questions for Carlos Ramos about how do I make sure, because it used to be you get to your chair, you have a drink, you make sure you're ready, but now they're strictly, or else they'll be fined.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that's, Camille, do you think that's a good thing that they're trying to speed things up a little bit, or did you see no reason to speed things up?
I think there are points that need to be changed. I think sometimes, player take a lot of time, and maybe it's not good for everybody, for the public, for the TV, and for the player who's playing, you know, in front of the player taking this time. So, but I think just to shorten the, you know, the games, starting sets in four games, for me it will change a lot, you know, tennis. So I believe it needs to be done, but in a reasonable way.
Okay, so you would be for really shortening things?
Yeah, like because I think entertainment is important. I've been to a basketball game recently, and it was so different. It's a complete different sport, but maybe something to go with. Okay, let's go, let's play and respect, you know, the focus of every player. But sometimes we take a lot of time with the towel. I heard a new rule that maybe if you need the towel, you go and pick up yourself, not asking the ball kid. I think it's a good one.
Were you either of you towel users? I mean, it feels like quite a modern thing, but
it's not to that degree, right? I mean, it has gotten out of control, and I think that's kind of the point in some of these changes. Every single point, players are going to the towel, and it's more of a way for them to reset as opposed to really needing it. So I think, you know, some of it takes too long, and I think, you know, some of these rules are really good. I think after the warm-up, players now, they sit down for like 2 or 3 minutes. I mean, we played, I don't remember players doing that. Like, you might go have a drink, you're still standing, and then you go back to get started with the match. So I think some of these rules are definitely going to be good and positive improvements.
Nick and I, tennis, definitely.
Nick and I had a discussion on radio, and Nick was banning the towel from the back of the court altogether. I said, I wouldn't go that far. I think that's a bit extreme, but you wouldn't.
Because to me, it's changed over the years. Someone did it first, I don't know who, and then it became the de rigueur. I don't necessarily think the players have to have the towels with them at the back of the court.
We used to have wristbands, Nick. I mean, we're old
wristbands.
school. A wristband. That is the first step. Nobody wants to wear a wristband, and then they want to go to the back of the court every point for the towel. It's ridiculous.
She's speaking my language. I love it.
But they have wristbands and they have towels. Now, someone I want you to have a quick listen to, who spoke in the press conference earlier today, is Denis Shapovalov. He's part of the Next Gen. He's the crew of Next Gen players trying to be in those finals in Milan. Last year was the first tournament. The best players aged 21 or under. A lot of these rules are coming into play. And just have a listen to what Shapovalov, who won, as you saw earlier today, had to say about changing times in tennis.
I mean, I think it's cool to try, you know, new stuff out. Honestly, I kind of forgot today that with the 1 minute rule when you walk on court, you know, the ref reminded me a couple times, even after the rain delay. But yeah, it's just something you have to get used to. Really, I don't think it's changed anything that much. But I think it's cool that the ATP is trying to change the game a little bit and play with new stuff. You know, sports have always got to evolve, and yeah, it's always good to see that they're trying things out.
The Next Gen finals, I thought they were my favorite part was the headset coaching, because they're told all these guys they had to communicate in English, and there was Gianluigi Quinzi, who there's an Italian wildcard playoff, and they get together and they come in. He sat down, put his headset on, and he asked his coach if it was time to change his racket for a new one. And we were sitting there thinking, and his coach was just like, Yes. I mean, it was, and then others just, I mean, Denis Shapovalov with his coach just had a conversation about going out for coffee. I mean, it was, but some of the innovations, we had no line judges. Chana, can you imagine tennis on a court with no line judges?
I cannot, and it's tough enough sometimes just to play the match, let alone have to make the calls. And how do you question your opponent then? I mean,
Well,
we're
you,
so
you
used
can't.
to
It's just Hawkeye.
Yeah, you just have to deal with it. But I think it's fun and interesting to try it. I mean, these young gen guys, the next gen guys, I mean, they are some of the most talented players. And certainly if anybody can adjust and will make the most of having to adjust, it's players like that. So I think it's fun to kind of put those changes into place, see how they work, and go from there. I mean, everything has to change periodically over time. So it's just nice to kind of test it out first.
We have another result that's come through, and Camille, this is a really good win for Yulia Gerges, who's come through in 3 sets against Dominika Cibulkova. She would have looked at that, she would have seen it was going to be tough, but managed to close it out in the end.
What a first round again after Muguruza Kuznetsova. Now Gerges Cibulkova first round. Come on. No, it's such a tough first round for both players. And Julia Gerges, a great server, great forehand. She just managed to, to overpower Cibulkova, who's running very well. She's really like a little flea. How do you say?
Yeah,
Ding, ding.
yeah.
That is,
Bumblebee, buzzing all over the court.
And what a tough first round for both players.
Yeah, it certainly was. And the matches continue. We'll keep you up to date with everything. And don't forget, when we are finished with you, keep an eye on Roland-Garros.com for all the results and then tomorrow's schedule. And we'll look at that a little bit later, but things still have to be confirmed. Now, for those people lucky enough to work at Roland-Garros, we're able to come on site before the doors are open to the public. And it's a really special time, partly because it's nice and quiet and you can get around very easily. But as we are your Access All Areas pass, Nick got up very early in the morning to experience Roland-Garros waking up.
Before thousands of fans stream through the gates, before hundreds of players take to the court, and before dozens of matches are played, Roland-Garros has to wake up. And this is a tennis village set inside Paris that wakes up like no other. Newspapers delivered, flowers are watered, courts are prepared, everything meticulously set for a beautiful day of Grand Slam tennis. When it comes to the courts, no detail is missed. Court crews attend to each of the courts here at Roland-Garros, watering them the night before, sweeping them, making sure no clay is on the lines. That's so that players can be on the court sometimes as early as 8 a.m. for morning practices, all to be ready for play to begin promptly at 11. And the most special moment of the morning, the waking of the grounds by the Roland-Garros ball kids. And lastly, open the gates and let another day of Roland-Garros tennis begin.
I'm pretty sure Nick nearly sent one of those ball boys flying as he just stepped into the middle of their run. But really nice to see Roland-Garros as you've probably never, ever seen it before. Now, Eli said he was going to stay in his photographer's pit, but I have a feeling... you have! You've gone completely the opposite now.
Yeah, I was in the basement of Philippe Chatrier. I'm now in the attic of Suzanne Lenglen, looking over Nicolas Mahut and Juan Martín del Potro. Both have split first sets. Juan Martín del Potro just broke Nico Mahut. Remember, 110 spots between the two guys. Nico Mahut, tournament wildcard. He's 36 years old. He's looking to beat a 10 losing streak match versus top 10 players. Juan Martín del Potro, on the other hand, I mean, everybody knows him. His best result here is semifinal in 2009 when he lost to Roger Federer in 5 sets. Federer went on to win that year, so interesting to know what would have happened had Del Potro won. Wow, I'm struggling here. Mahut is competing in his 16th Roland-Garros. I'm just going to say that I'm competing in my 20th Roland-Garros. So Listen, this is classic evening time at Roland-Garros. Nico. The crowd is totally behind the French guy, and Juan Martín del Potro looking to make it into the second round. A tough draw, very exciting times. This could go on for another hour or two. Tune in.
And we'll keep an eye on Roland-Garros.com and Eli, get down safely, because it's. I think I'd be happier in the photographer's pit than at the top of Susan Longland. The view is absolutely stunning. Now, Del Potro there, former US Open champion. We're now going to hear from a young man who's looking to make his Grand Slam breakthrough here at Roland-Garros. It's Sasha Zverev. He's the second seed, and he's been speaking to us about life away from tennis and his special relationship with Roland-Garros.
Describe your relationship with this tournament.
Great memories, obviously, in juniors especially. I'm still trying to make the best memories I can at seniors.
So it's an ongoing love story?
I hope it will be ongoing for the next 15 years. So.
Do you remember the very first time in your life that you crossed paths with this tournament, whether it was on TV or...
Yeah, I do. I was actually here. My brother was playing juniors. He was about 15, I was 5.
Tell us a bit about yourself. What are your favorite hobbies?
I love the NBA, so I watch quite a lot of basketball. I play a lot of basketball myself. I love the ocean, so in the summertime I spend a lot of time out there, you know, on a small boat in Monaco and just being with friends a little bit. Play a little bit of golf as well, so those are the things I do. I'm still a very active guy even on days off.
What about music? Do you have a favorite singer or band?
I love Eminem.
Are you able to go as fast as Eminem?
Am I on some of the songs? Yeah. I know quite a lot of them.
I'm not going to ask you to demo.
No, I'm not going to do it anyway. So even ask you.
Good. That's why I wasn't asking.
Okay, there you go.
What do you love most about being a professional tennis player?
You do what you love from a kid. You basically can't stay a kid for your professional life, and you know, make pretty good money with it.
What do you hate most about being a professional tennis player?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Maybe at some point, you know, in like November or something like that, maybe the traveling a little bit, but no, I like being a tennis player, I'm not even gonna lie.
And for Sasha Zverev, his second round match will be played on court number 1. Here for you, and Chanda, you say, I haven't seen the schedule. Here for you, Chanda Rubin, exclusively, is tomorrow's order of play.
Breaking news, and I'm getting it first here.
You're getting it first here, and look at who you're also getting. You're getting Halep, Nishikori in there. And then you move on to Susan Longland. You got David Goffin, Novak Djokovic, and Elena Svitolina, and Elise Cornet coming against Pauline Parmentier.
Yeah, and Corentin Moutet, the young player we're expecting here in France.
It's just that still that really exciting. There are tennis absolutely everywhere. There are superstars. There are those young guys and girls who are trying to make a name for themselves. Grand Slams are just fantastic.
Yeah, and I mean, you can't manufacture this type of atmosphere. Obviously, there's a lot of pressure for players. I mean, you want to do well. These are the big events, and especially if you're playing at your home Grand Slam, right? I mean, you feel it. You feel it a little more. Like you really want
it. US Open, maybe the same.
I felt the same, and so you know, it's fun to kind of watch all these players work through the nerves, work through these tough situations, and play some of their best tennis. And to be there in the stands, I've had the chance a little bit today to sit and watch Serena Williams when she came through, and it's just phenomenal, the atmosphere. So I am enjoying it thus far.
And Camille, you touched on this in one of the earlier shows about the pressure on the French players, and really a French player now needing to find a way through that pressure and one day crack it here.
Yeah, I think it's going to come. What Alex Correia said was right, that clay court doesn't help, because French players were playing good on fast surface like hard court or grass. But I think, as Caroline Garcia had done today, I think there's something to do. Okay, let's play tennis and focus only on tennis. And she won and laugh. She has a lot of pressure. She's number 7 in the world, and she managed to do it. So maybe it's going to be like a nice series of winning like this for French player.
And the wonderful thing, Nick, is that the weather has cleared up. It's allowed us to complete the worst thing in the Grand Slam. Imagine more so for a player if you're sat there in the locker room and you can't get out there, is that we're getting through these matches. It's brilliant.
Right, and I think I got a little bit of what you had in your throat in mind, but hopefully Simona Halep can play today, and then we'll have all of our second round matches tomorrow. I really did get something.
You
in
did
my
get something, didn't you? It's all this talking we've been doing. It's only day 3.
Let's try what
Can we-
Chanda has
yes,
in her mug.
whatever was in Chanda's mug is special.
'Cause I'm good.
If we're just going to shuffle that mug down to you. What I do want to do, though, is go to court number 1 because something, Eli, quite special might end up unfolding on court 1.
Yeah, we've been sitting here for a while. It's not like I was running across the entire stadium. Behind me, Julien Benito, who is doing his farewell tournament here at Roland-Garros. Should he lose, I hope he doesn't, because, you know, he's one of my boys. This would be his last ever match at Roland-Garros as a professional tennis player, unless he changes his mind and comes back. But for the moment, according to what he's announced, this is his last Roland-Garros, and should he lose, it would be his last match. He loves this court. I think there's no coincidence that the tournament programmed him on court 1. He enjoys being here. We enjoy being here. Philippe and I are slightly out of breath, so we're just going to chill and watch this match and enjoy ourselves. See you guys.
I'm sorry. It was the heavy breathing. I mean, bless him, Chanda. I mean, the courts and the pace he made up to get from Susan Longland to court 1, and he was trying to talk, and he was telling
It
us...
was impressive. I mean, he covered a lot of ground, and you know, I don't want to be rude, but I was thinking he sounds like I sounded my first match back after having my baby. I was huffing and puffing, playing the Legends event, and it's not easy. So I feel for Eli, but he's doing a great job, and we appreciate all of his hard work.
We really do appreciate it.
It's like a singer who has to dance at the same time. You have to
I don't know how
talk
they
and
do.
you...
I have trouble walking up the stairs to our studio. It's like 4 flights, and you have someone walking behind you, like, and then you have to speak to
The
someone
pressure.
at the top. There's a lot of pressure. Chanda, can I just say a huge thank you for you for joining us here?
I have enjoyed it.
And maybe we'll get you something slightly stronger in the mug.
I'll welcome that too.
You're welcome that too.
I'm there too.
Okay, no, not you, but maybe at the end of the 2 weeks, and
Oh,
maybe we'll get
maybe.
something for Nick.
I need a throat lozenge at this point.
So thank you very much
need
to
something
everyone
strong.
for being here. Eli's going to be settling himself on court 1 just to keep an eye on the action. You can keep up to date with results on RolandGarros.com. Don't forget, we are with you every night throughout the championship, 7 p.m. local time on the official YouTube and Facebook pages of Roland Garros. And if you'd like to get in touch with us, hashtag RG18. It's been a real pleasure. We're all going to take a breather now, and we'll see you tomorrow at the same time.